Okay, welcome everyone to the next installment of Most's Lunch and Learn series. This is Making the Most of Technovations, and I'd like to introduce Luella and Abby May from Technovations, and they are going to take over today and share their programming and their great ideas with you all.
All right. Okay, thanks to y'all. Hi, I'm Luella Provenza, and I am the U.S. Partnership Specialist with Technovation. And I will toss it over to Abby May to introduce herself before we get started.
Thanks, Lola. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us, those that are live and those that are virtual, for our Lunch and Learn session here. My name is Abby May. I'm the program manager for the US with Technovation. And yeah, we are an organization that is seeking to empower youth and especially young women in the technology space to be leaders and real world problem solvers. So excited to share about what our work is focused on and to think about ways that we're able to collaborate with organizations in Maryland. So tossing it back with Luella to continue this.
Perfect, thank you. So before we share exactly how we collaborate, how we empower girls, we really wanted to share an innovation with you all. And so the group that we're going to be showcasing today, it's a solution made by girls between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. And specifically, they created a solution to support teachers to detect mental health challenges in students that they're teaching. And so, Abby May, if you can flip to the next piece, and this is Project Teddy. I have no sound on my end.
Sorry about that. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. I had to click the share sound button. Let's try it again. Take two.
Health is a critical issue facing our society, with around 14% of adolescents experiencing mental health disorders worldwide. This is a serious issue because mental health disorders can negatively affect students' education and lead to death in extreme cases.
Early detection and treatment of mental health disorders in students is crucial, since many people may not recognize the early warning signs of a mental health issue and will not seek help until the symptoms have progressed. This can lead to significant consequences, such as social isolation, loss of productivity, and even suicide.
Chances are you know someone who is struggling with depression but don't even realize it. Let us do what we can to heed the silent cry for help with our mental health red flag detector, Teddy.
With the text-based early distress detector for youth, we can detect early signs of depression and self-destructive tendencies and connect students to the appropriate resources and support. Using advanced AI technology, Teddy searches for specific keywords or phrases in text such as essays, reflections, and chat logs that may indicate potential mental health issues. If a respondent expresses negative thoughts or shows distinct language patterns expected of individuals with depression or suicidal thoughts, the system will flag these responses. With the use of AI, even teachers who aren't trained to find mental health concerns in essays will be able to connect their students with a school counselor who can support them further.
We released Teddy on a public website so that it could be easily tested by counselors, teachers, and even HR professionals. Simply enter any text that can sufficiently express a person's thoughts, click submit, and let Teddy handle the rest.
The initial feedback is quite positive, with an average score of 4.2 out of 5 for both usability and effectiveness, and words of encouragement to continue on with our project, as it is indeed relevant given the growing number of youth dealing with depression that is not addressed in a timely and appropriate manner.
We recognize that Teddy is not perfect. While it gives good results with actual essays and reflections written by students, testers noticed that entering arbitrary statements such as "I want to harm myself" did not show any red flags. Our analysis of the data sets show that people express their struggles in a more subtle way. However, just to be sure, we worked with counselors to come up with additional red flag words that Teddy could also highlight.
Our goal before the next school year is to find a school or counselor who is willing to partner with us to further improve our dataset and validate Teddy's effectiveness in order to make a compelling case for other schools. We hope to do so by reaching out through our website and social media and pitching to schools and counselors over the summer break. In the succeeding years, we aim to
Create an API for schools to embed in their learning management systems, messaging systems, and other tools.
Enable processing of bulk input and generate reports.
And explore Teddy's use in the workplace. Projects similar to Teddy include Wison and Wobot, chatbots that use natural language processing to help users cope with depression. However, experts agree that there's no replacement for human connection. Teddy focuses on connecting mental health professionals with students who need their help.
Researchers have also looked into using AI to find red flags in text. Still, unlike Teddy, these projects have not yet been released in a manner that is easily accessible to schools.
Through Teddy, we also aim to contribute to the Global Sustainable Development Goals.
First, Goal 3. Good health and well-being. Early detection and intervention can help prevent mental health issues from escalating, which can lead to significant improvements in physical, social, and economic outcomes.
Moreover, Teddy can assist in fostering positive work values and psychological well-being among students, ultimately contributing towards Goal 8, decent work and economic growth.
With Teddy, we hope to make mental health support more accessible, reduce the stigma surrounding mental health disorders, and ultimately improve the quality of life for students affected by mental health issues.
Help us heal the world and its youth. Visit our website to test Teddy, provide feedback, and or connect with us to solve this global problem.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Abby May, for sharing that. We wanted to start with that because we really thought that it showed kind of the overall
Mental health is
impact
mental
of
health. Critical
the program. This was a set of finalists and a project that was pushed forward last year to really show again the power of Technovation. And so what you have in front of you today is a map of kind of where we are in the United States. And so the work that we do is made possible through really meaningful partnerships across the country. And so we are working with organizations that are grassroots organizations all the way up to kind of large scale conveners of after school partners or STEM-based partners, kind of like most. You'll see that we're working with the Ohio After School Network. And our goal, again, is to really equip those service providers with the right resources and tools to help girls and guide them through the process of creating a sustainable solution. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Abby May to kind of talk a little bit about the overview of our program before we get into the nuts and bolts of the provider support that we offer.
Thanks, Luella. Yeah, so I just wanted to take a step back and kind of share what a high level of what happens when a student goes through the Technovation program. And yeah, as Luella mentioned, we work with schools and other organizations to bring this program to the youth. And in the program, they start by researching a local or global problem that they want to solve. And so for Teddy, that team of students, they wanted to help those youth that were struggling with mental health. And so you heard about their process of researching this, talking to mental health professionals, figuring out what's going to be the best way to come in and solve this problem. And then our program teaches skills around coding as well as AI, which we recognize are kind of like, the cutting edge, like this is what the next generation is going to need in the workplace. And they're challenged to design a technology solution that centers around either on a phone or on the web, like with Teddy, that helps solve the problem that they identified. And so the students build this out, and they also don't just build out the tech part of it. They also think in terms of like, how could I bring this to market? So they create a business plan, think through the marketing of it, and pitch their ideas for this business based around a tech solution in a global competition. And so we've got, girls from all sorts of countries around the world that are identifying local problems and pitching these ideas. And so what we offer to guide this process is an online student curriculum that's completely free. And I should say everything that we'll talk about, the services, the support that we offer, everything here is at no cost. We work with, funders and grant providers to make sure that everything that we do is completely accessible. And so part of this process too is that the students are supported by mentors as they go through this journey. And so not only do we provide like the curriculum for the students to guide them through this process, but also the training and the resources for those adults that are working with them and kind of guiding them through this learning journey. And so a couple more just examples, because I feel like I can't talk enough about the cool stuff the youth are doing. We had a team in Minnesota that designed an app that could scan barcodes of products in the school or store, sorry, and alert consumers if there was microplastics in that product. And then we had another team that designed an app using storytelling to build empathy around police brutality and domestic violence. We've had students tackle things like caregiving to dementia patients and tracking class discussions. So whatever the students are interested in, we're like, you go for it. How can technology make the world better in that space? And as I mentioned, this kind of culminates in a big global competition. So we have a virtual platform that the students submit their videos and their apps on. So the video that you saw from Teddy was submitted and it was judged by folks that are actually in the tech and business industry. So we get tons of volunteers from corporations that are in the industry, in this space, to give every single project feedback and scores. And so, like any competition, we have winners, they're awarded scholarships, and our global finalists end up pitching in person. We fly them out to Silicon Valley to present their project to tech leaders there. So that's actually happening next Thursday. If you're around, we have a live stream of that happening in Silicon Valley next Thursday, October 17th. So if you're interested in tuning in and seeing our finalists from around the world pitch their ideas, that link will be it's embedded in these slides, which we will share out after this presentation. All right, I'm going to toss it back to Luella here to talk a little bit more about the curriculum and how that moves the program forward.
Great, thank you so much, Abby May. So now that we've heard about the actual project, we're now going to talk a little bit about the nuts and bolts of the supports that we offer. And so one of the big things that we do provide is a comprehensive curriculum to our partners. And so this is completely open access, and you can toy around in it today. And so big thing here is that it's about 60 hours worth of content, about 49 lessons overall, divided into about 12 units. And what's really great about this is that if mentors have a really strong background in AI or coding, they don't necessarily have to follow that guide specifically, right? And they can pick up the guide in which maybe market research and business development isn't their skill set, and that's what they need. But it's specifically, right, when we talk about junior achievement, right, it feels like they probably have those elements, to whereas maybe the coding and the AI pieces would be more beneficial for a partnership with junior achievement, to a little dive deeper into how to develop apps and tech solutions for young people that are wanting to drive that solution forward. The other really great thing about the curriculum is that it's differentiated by age group. So we've got our curriculum divided up into specifically 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9th through 12th. And Abby may feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on those. But in addition to that, a lot of the curriculum has videos, interactive features, and things that you can download and customize in terms of your worksheets, in terms of the engagement of young people. So thank you for that. If we can go to the next slide. And so that curriculum is also coupled with year-round support. And so we have self-paced training that mentors can go through, but that's also coupled with a resource page that has a companion to go directly alongside that curriculum in the event that someone gets stuck. But then there are also 2 other levers to pull in terms of support that gets them connected directly to other mentors around the world that are implementing this, where they can ask questions of each other, brainstorm best practices. But in addition to that, we also have the Technovations staff that's available either by phone or email, and that will make intentional connections to support resources or to another mentor in our portfolio of partnerships. Great. So Abby May said, you know, everyone is usually like, okay, so what's the catch? Is it free? Is it not free? What's going on? So Abby May has already said it's completely free. The other kind of pieces that our partners bring to the table is the recruitment of youth, right? They're the ones that identify the young women and girls that want to be a part of this program, but also the adults to support them and their journey through it, as well as time and space. The other questions that we tend to get during this time is it open to boys? Yes, it is. Like I said, our curriculum is completely open source. The only thing that we reserve for young people, for girls and those that identify as female, are the competition piece. We really try to make sure that's a space for young women to be celebrated and to showcase their innovations. The other questions that we get quite a bit are the technology elements that are needed in order to get this done. And so an iPad would be just fine. And our team sizes are between 1 and 5, and usually one iPad or one computer will go a long way for those teams. And then Abby, you can go to the next slide. So now that we've kind of given you a little bit of overview of who we are, what we do, and what we offer, we wanted to make sure that you had our contact information in the event that you want to discuss how to specifically implement Technovation in your program and what assets you have to be leveraged and other assets that you might need in order to do that. So here is a link directly to one-on-one meetings with myself. And feel free to schedule some time to come maybe talk a little bit more about your program and potentially how you might go about integrating Technovation into your existing programs. And I will stop there and see if there are any questions.
Luella, of course I do have a question.
Sure.
I think you know what you just talked about is a lot of what we do when I talked about company program when I first started.
Yeah.
And so immediately I thought that is how our companies kind of start. You know, they are looking to solve a problem. And we have had students who wanted to dive onto the tech side. So I'm wondering just a couple of questions. One, is there a way, and you can tell me if this is a sidebar conversation to really kind of dig deeper, but one, is there a way to infuse that in a program that's already happening? And number two, because of the fidelity of your program, is your curriculum required? Because there is curriculum that's required on our side. Because it's the startup of a company and getting through different stages. And so I would wonder that too. And then we were founded, I mean, our biggest strength is the volunteer piece, that volunteers are coming in to support. I cannot say necessarily that we have people that are volunteers that are really app focused with that whole technology spin to be able to support students that want to go down that pathway. So that would be amazing. So lots of questions and things to digest, but really looking, and then on the other side, for other organizations that are interested in doing Technovision and being part of this, we have a great space too. We have an entrepreneurship lab. So, and we do use the space for students in our community, right? So they would be in this community. So just to know that that space is here as a resource, you know, a side note piece. But I think that's a sidebar conversation I would like to see and bring on our person that oversees entrepreneurship to be able to have those kind of conversations with you. I think we could do something pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's see if I can remember all of the questions.
Okay, I'm sorry, it was a lot.
No, you're good. Feel free to kind of interject if I forget one. First and foremost, there is no you can slice and dice. So you know, you don't necessarily have to use our entrepreneurship curriculum. You use your own. That's totally fine, right? I think again, where I'm thinking and what I do know about junior achievement is exactly what you isolated, right? Getting those volunteers that have no idea about AI or tech, like this would be a really awesome complementary tool to them because they can help that young person. It is very easy. I knew nothing about tech or anything like that when I stepped into this role, and that is the one section that I went immediately to figure out
Okay.
how in over in my head am I in this job, and the reality is I'm not. And it's very quick and easy to learn, and any adult can pick it up, and any kid can pick it up on their own too. And a lot of our young women are actually without mentors, and will pick up this curriculum all on their own, and come up with their own solution and guide themselves through it. So there
Okay.
are young girls that do this completely without a mentor, which then says to me, a mentor can pick this up and learn alongside the young women that they're teaching how to pick up AI and coding. So there's that element of it. The other piece is, and Abby, I may have to tag you in here, there is an evaluation component to our partnership where we would like to hear from the young people who are integrating into this program. And so, Abby can I toss it to you there to kind of give a little bit more insight on what that would look like?
You're talking about the surveys?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll say those are optional, but yeah, we do. I mean, we want to be able to, use data to inform building out the curriculum and the program. So we do have a pre and post survey that the students can take, and then we do share that data with the partners by region, right? So let's say you were working within Maryland, we could kind of give you the data on like what were the learning gains for that region that you're working in. But yeah, so that's sort of a piece, but I'll just echo what Luella said in terms of like, it's really adaptable to what you want to do. I think the hardest kind of guidelines are around the competition. So if your students are wanting to submit, right, there is kind of a set of submission pieces, the video, the app itself, a little like learning journey description, how do we learn? And so those are kind of like the components that, that do need to get built and submitted to the
I could
competition.
imagine.
But in terms of like,
You too.
yeah, so it's fair. But in terms of like the curriculum and completing those activities, totally just meant to be a guide.
Okay, that was good.
Did I miss any of your other questions?
Nope, those were all the questions. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yep.
And then, yes, we would love to continue the conversation and figuring out how we might collaborate with y'all in a bigger way.
Sounds good. And I will receive these slides that are, okay, perfect. And then I'll have all the contact info and everything too.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah. And I'll just say again to anyone that maybe ends up watching this video later, please do reach out to us, and you can just send an email saying, hey, I want to talk, and then we'll be in touch and can take it from there. So we're excited. We're really wanting to expand access. We've seen from our data the impact. I think the number is like 75% of our alumni are going into STEM degrees and into STEM careers. And so wanting to make sure that we are seeing and bringing this to communities that need it most. And we're working kind of on the grassroots ground level to support those that are the leaders in those communities to bring access. So yeah, thank you everyone who's taken the time to be here today. Thank you, Crystal, for hosting us, and really it's just been a pleasure to spend some time virtually in Maryland.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for coming today. Janae, did you have any other questions or anything like that? I know you got a lot of questions answered.
I did. And I think, I totally forgot we were being recorded. So
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll get into the weeds behind the scenes with Abby and Luella.
Fantastic.
And I appreciate your time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. So was there any follow-up that Abby and May and Luella that you all wanted to do or anything?
I think what we can do is we'll send you the slides. We'll make sure that my information is we'll send like a little blurb that might be easy for you to plug and chug into an email. And then what we'll do is we'll obviously follow up with Janae, and then anyone else that bubbles up, we'll let you know as well, just to kind of keep you informed. But Abby May, I don't know if you had any other thoughts or ideas there.
It's great. Yeah. And maybe even just specific email to those that did register to make sure they get the slides and the recording. If you want to send me the list, I'm happy to send that email, and that way you don't even have to worry about it or whatever works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. We can definitely send the follow-up emails with all your contact information and the recordings and everything. And that way everybody can get the information and can follow up with you if need be.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.